Hey guys, today we have War 6 and we have another Corvus plus Nick Fury war. So we're starting off on Path 6 in Section 1 with the Blackfoot of Deadly Origin that we're just going to use to get the 2 charges first of all. A pretty easy fight. On this we want to alternate combo hits so she doesn't get a bunch of prowess. And then we bait our L1, get the evade charge, get a heavy off, and then fire an L2. And Black Widow should just die. And yeah. We block this L1, not going to take any chances here, because whatever. And yeah, here she gets a prowess, so she's got some block penetration. Not the biggest deal, but a little bit annoying, you know. And then we've got our L2 ready, and the fight is over. So yeah, pretty clean fight. Now for this Tigra. I was leaving suicides on for this because it's just such an easy fight. And looking back, this has really changed my perception of suicides with Nick Fury in War. Just look at how fast this fight goes down when we have suicides on. I took a Vivified Tiger the other day, which is pretty similar to this with Power Focus 2. And this was almost half of the length of that, which is just really crazy. Now, for the Sit Monkey, we want to get to our L2. Since we've already got the evade charge, we don't need to worry about all that. Just get to our L2, knock him down, and then throw our L2, and the fight will just be over like that. Now, for this Kitty Pride, Corvus is fantastic for it. I want to talk about something before we go into this fight real quick. I forgot to turn on 3 out of 3 recoil for this, and this results in my L2 not killing. And as you'll see in this video, it makes it a little bit more sketch. But yeah, for this fight, I want to do as many mediums as possible before she's at her L1. This will just give me a little bit more damage. It's similar to what I do on Bishop and try and guarantee my L2 killing. But since we do not have recoil at 3 out of 3, this L2 is not going to kill, and then this was really dumb. I shouldn't have done that, but she gives me an opening to block, and a blocked combo just finishes her off. And yeah, very good counter, but I should have just turned on 3 out of 3 recoil for the fight. And yeah, for this Bishop, just a quick Corvus fight. Again, I like to go for mediums to get as much damage as possible before my L2, just to ensure that the L2 does kill, because if your L2 doesn't kill on this matchup, he's going to get an unblockable special of his own, and things will get pretty dangerous. But it is pretty easy to prevent him from ever getting to a situation like that with Corvus, which is what makes him so amazing for this fight. And same deal for this Apocalypse. For some reason, Apocalypse never actually got the third prowess on this node, which meant that he was never going to go unblockable anyway, which is interesting. So, yeah. But we're just gonna go to L2 again, and it'll kill. Same deal, really. This was a little bit of a misplay. I should have full comboed, but it didn't matter. And yeah, fight's just over. For this Killmonger fight, what I want to do is enter reverb at 0 power and get off an L2 with an intercept before the second reverb would come back up is basically the goal here. And as you can see, we hit that intercept and get another intercept, and then the fight's just over. Really nice counter. So yeah, this Chavez was the really eye-opening fight for me. With Nick having suicides on, you're gonna see this fight just goes down so quickly. Like, it's similar speeds to like OGA Bomb versus 53, which is just ridiculous for a first life Nick Fury. And you're gonna see we end the fight before anything really matters on this fight, which is just absolutely fantastic. And yeah, suicides on is really changing. The speed of these sort of simple fights where you don't necessarily need the miss or evade counter for Nick Fury. And it's working really, really well. As you'll see here, she doesn't even get a chance to throw that and she's already dead. And yeah, here we have a 55 Modok. Another Corvus fight. So what I want to do here is just get to an L2, and then throw another L2, and it'll kill. Modok has a pretty big health pool, so the first L2 won't actually kill. But yeah, pretty simple fight regardless. And there's Limber here, but it's not a huge deal, because Corvus ends the fights before Modok can even stop his parries anyway, which is really nice. And yeah, for this Green Goblin boss, I talked with my officers, and we decided it'd be best if I left on suicides for this after seeing how much of an increase the damage was there. I do think this was the right call, but I did end up playing this fight really poorly, and I got into an uphill battle with high ground, which is really the danger of this fight, is getting into that uphill battle with high ground. And you'll see it right here. I do my second combo before the high ground charge starts. And this just makes it an uphill battle for the whole fight. And it's really difficult to get out of that, and that is the danger of this. Thankfully, Nick Fury has just outstanding damage that lets me claw back into it. I should have thrown the L1 right there, and it would have removed a high ground charge, but I didn't for whatever reason. And yeah, just very, very sloppy play with high ground on this fight. Nick Fury is really struggling to keep up with high ground, and yeah, we're just trying to get some L1s off to limit the amount of high ground he's getting, because it's really, really bad situation at this point. And yeah. And now I'm planning to just block the next L2 I'm getting him, to push myself into second life, and end this fight before high ground gets too out of hand. And that's what I'm thinking here. My Nick Fury is Sig 200, so we will have a lot of time on the second life, as you'll see here. And I think that Sig 200 really played into this fight. I don't think I would have soloed this if Nick Fury was not Sig 200. And yeah, high ground is still in a really bad situation, but now that I have the second life damage, I can just end the fight and get it under control by finishing the fight quickly enough. And yeah, at this point, we're about a couple combos away from ending the fight. And yeah, I just want to bait one more heavy, and then the fight is over with an L1 to let the bleed stay for its duration. And yeah, 10 solos this war. Not my cleanest of wars.